I'm Dan Johnson talking with Tom Gutman of Airtime Aviation. And what is this that I'm looking at here, Tom? It looks like a brand new airplane, but it doesn't look like a brand new airplane.
It isn't. It's basically a 2007 CTSW, something that we've had for a few years that we just kind of spiffed up and got going flying again.
Now, you did this yourself? You do the maintenance work yourself on this? I mean, what happened to this? The hangar door fall on it or
so
something?
at Airtime Aviation, we have a repair facility. So it was involved in an accident a number of years ago. So we actually put it back together, did some composite work to it, decided it was going to be our plane that we were going to keep for our personal plane. So we wanted to have a nice custom paint job. So we had a nice custom paint job put on it.
You like orange, evidently.
We like orange, yes. We got a few orange things.
I've asked him this a couple of times. Every time he smiles real big, I think orange is something special here in the Tulsa, Oklahoma world of Airtime Aviation, huh?
It's just us. We're not at sports or any of that stuff. It's just we like the color orange.
Well, it really works. I'm telling you, in the sun as it was setting yesterday, the sun goes right about down there. This thing, the sun was hitting it. It just glowed from out on the runway, and it drew me right over here, which I'm guessing is part of the reason?
Part of the reason, yes. It's kind of the show, the eye catcher.
Now, a lot of these airplanes, I'm looking over your shoulder and my shoulder here at the new F2 from Flight Design. And an awful lot of LSA and many other airplanes are this way. They're basically painted white. And then they use decals or other things, and it makes a nice graphic appearance on the airplane, but it doesn't do what this does. This is a different look completely.
We wanted something completely different. So we had our guy that does a lot of custom painting for us go through, and we put a design together of what we kind of wanted, gave it to him, and he taped it up a few different times, and no, change this, no, change that. Then finally, about the fourth or fifth time, we said, yep, that's what we want. He put some paint on it, and this is what we came up with.
Well, it's very well done. Now, but I want to go back to the composite work, because there's a lot of people around the country that say, well, I can work on metal, or I'm comfortable with metal anyway. And almost all of those people say, no, not composite. I'm not doing composite. How do you feel comfortable doing composite?
I agree. Composite is a different world, especially in the aviation world, because they're used to metal. Back about 2005, 2006, we actually got certified by Flight Design to do composites. But a couple of gentlemen come over from Germany,
really
go through with us. We've actually done some composites in the past. We had another composite shop that actually does a lot of our work also at this training, just to show us their techniques, their layup, things like that, the way they do it, so that we would do it with the same materials in the same exact way that Flight Design does it.
Yeah, if you're going to make factory repairs, you should do it the way the factory does it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're all qualified to do that now, and you maintain that currency, and you keep doing this kind of work.
Yeah, we do anything. We've had airplanes where the hangar doors fallen on it. We've had airplanes where the hangars have fallen. We've had guys where they've got into issues with the airplane. So really just about any repair that needs to be done, we can do it. No one repairs spars, not in the factory, so obviously we don't do that either. But anything that gets done to the airplane, we've also got special equipment set up to go pick up airplanes. So if
what do you
got,
mean?
as far as a trailer, so if someone out, we're from Oklahoma, if somebody even in California has an issue, or New York or Florida, if they land in a field or something happens, whatever it may be, we have the equipment to go pick up that airplane.
Well, Tulsa, Oklahoma is pretty centrally located in the U.S., but it's a big country, so you need that kind of capacity, because if your airplane, especially if it's got composite damage, well, you're not flying that then.
Right.
So you got vehicle, you go out and take the airplane, bring it back to your facility, and start working on it, huh?
Correct.
Now, you've done this a lot, huh?
We've done it a number of times, yes.
And you sold a lot of these airplanes too, is that right?
Yeah, we've sold about 250 Flight Designs in the country.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. Wow, and there's somewhere around 500 flying, so you're accounting for about half the market.
Just short of that, yes.
Yeah, very well done. No wonder the factory wanted to come and train you. Airplanes like this one here, if somebody says, well, it's just mine, it's never been damaged, but it's just kind of worn, it's, 2007, and I've flown the blazes out of it. Will you take it in and do a whole once-over for them, or do you have to buy it before you'll do that?
No, absolutely not. We've actually had a few times where people have brought us airplanes for what they think is a small dent that we repair, or all the way to full, complete repaint jobs.
Is that right?
So anything that's needed, I mean, if you need a spinner, we can get a new spinner. If it's a wheel pan that needs repaired, we can repair that. So whatever's needed, no, you don't have to buy a new one. You don't have to buy a used one. You can just bring them to us.
Cool. And what airfield are you located in Tulsa?
Tulsa at Riverside Airport.
Riverside Airport, okay.
South side of Tulsa.
And you've been there a long time, right?
We've been at that hangar since 2015, I believe.
Oh, okay. So where were you before that?
We're at Harvey Young, which is a small airport on the other side of town.
Oh, okay.
Been there. We started there in 2001.
Okay, yeah. I knew you went way back in this before there were light sport, right?
Yeah, we were the very first ones. We brought the first CT in the country before light sport was light sport.
Well, what a change that's been. You've watched a lot of
Gone
change
through
in
a
your
lot,
years.
yes.
Are you going to represent the new airplane as well?
Absolutely, yes.
Tell me a little bit about your experience.
So the F2 has been out for a little while now in the prototype. About 6 months ago, we had the F2 at Tulsa for about 3 months and went through it, learned a lot about the airplane, talked to the factory a lot, actually had a few things changed a little bit that we wanted changed, and that's the nice thing about Flight Design. Even though it is a large company, they're still small enough to listen to the end guy. So just a lot of little things, so we're very excited about the new airplane.
Excellent. So this is the only one in the country right now, isn't it, Tom?
This is the one and only. This is the prototype number 2, so it's still not the conforming airplane as far as certification. Number of little things, but cosmetically, this is what the F2 is going to be.
And are you going to get one of these?
We have one getting ready to leave the factory right now.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. When are you expecting it?
About a month and a half.
You guys started something new, I think, recently, where people who know you to be so knowledgeable about flight design might want to stay in touch with you. Can they do that somehow?
Yeah, we just started here recently, about 2 months ago, a new e-newsletter. And it's basically to inform people about our industry as well as flight design and airtime aviation.
Okay, and how do they get on the list to get that thing?
Shoot me an email, tomjr@flyct.com.
tomjr@flyct.com.
Yep.
And Tom Jr. has nothing to do with the TV show. It's because you and your dad both share the name Tom.
Tom, that's right.
Senior and junior. There you go. Right. All right, good stuff. And website then is flyct.com. That's where you can find out everything Airtime Aviation is doing?
Yep.
All right, good stuff. I've covered that in the past. I'll continue to follow these fellows and these airplanes from Flight Design. I'm Dan Johnson talking with Tom Gutman. Thanks for joining us here.